Hello, and welcome to our coverage of Love is Blind. We have made it to the finale, ladies and gentlemen, the weddings, the part we've been all waiting for just to see, who is going to say I do and who's going to say I don't. And we made it here for season 9. I'm not here alone. I'm here with two of my amazing co-hosts. My first co-host here, she can buy her own flowers, okay?
And I do frequently.
How about that budget, huh?
There's
Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
I know, right? There is a very big difference between I can buy myself flowers and I have to because no one else will, and that's the boat that I'm in. Yeah, but I actually I have a special guest here. My 5th grade teacher is here, Miss Levinson. Just kidding.
You are an actress because I actually did like right before you said 5th grade teacher. I thought somebody was there.
I thought Dave was gonna. I thought Dave was gonna pop up. I was like, Dave, welcome.
Dave, Dave was across the hall an hour ago, and then he just went outside for a walk. But anyway, I wish. No, yeah, I'm not sure if Dave's watching this season. I hope so. I hope he is. I'll have to ask. But yeah, I am actually in my hometown right now, so like I could theoretically have called up my 5th grade teacher, but I didn't.
Yeah, I could have. My 4th grade teacher was my mom, so I could have done that.
Wow.
But
if I had to put money on it, I would say my 5th grade teacher's dead because they were pretty old in 5th grade, and 5th grade for me was a long time ago. So I'm pretty sure they're no longer with us.
50, 60 years ago. And as you hear, ladies and gentlemen, our second co-host here, our other co-host here to round out this squad. I want to know, as soon as I play it, I want to know what your reaction was in real time. Okay.
Okay. What my reaction was?
Yes.
That's weird.
That was if y'all aren't aware, that was the noise that came out of Edmund's mouth.
He made several noises.
Hilarious said, "I'm sorry."
It was before she even said anything. It was
more
turning to the side, and then he goes, and I wrote down phonetically. Hold on, it's in my notes.
You can see
I wrote, she turns to the side, says, "I'm sorry," and he goes, "Oh."
Oh. Oh my god!
But we're gonna talk about that and much more.
Well, before we start, I just wanted to let you two know that you guys are the best co-hosts that anyone could ever imagine to be with. Like, I don't think there's another person out there that's better co-host than you two could ever be. You are amazing people. You are so empathetic. You're so funny. Anyone would be lucky to co-host this podcast with you. I can't imagine anyone saying they don't want to co-host a podcast with you. That's how good you are at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not co-hosting this podcast with you. I'm leaving. I refuse to be co-host with you anymore. You're just not the same person I thought you were pre-show to this show.
Okay, Aysha, you know what to do.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
It's it's that, yes, I have so many thoughts about that. But real quick, if you're here and you have not subscribed to our feed yet, please do go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed, where you can get all of our podcasts for Love is Blind, as well as Married at First Sight, which came out this week. So stay tuned for our recap of the first drop of episodes, dropping soon. And you can get our recaps of all the other unconventional love shows on the Love at First Sight feed. Make sure you subscribe also to the RHAP YouTube channel, where you can see our lovely faces. But we have some weddings to discuss. Weddings, plural, only because it was more than one.
Yeah, we made history here today.
Yeah, we did. I saw an article today, actually, that was like all the couples that are still together from Love is Blind. 9. There are 9 couples together out of 9 seasons of Love is Blind, meaning, there are 0 from season 9, but 9 total.
Are you asking if that's good or bad?
I mean, it's awful.
What do you expect out of reality television? I feel like that is a good batting average for reality dating.
Yeah, wait, 1 couple per season on average? That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think compared to what else is out there, I feel like that's pretty dang good. You know, like think about any other love shows, right? Like The Bachelor ain't doing great.
Terrible.
Yeah, Married at First Sight, not great. You know, Married at First Sight is less than 1 on average per season. So I think as far as what the baseline is for the industry, I think we're doing pretty good with 1 per season.
I just think I mean, like, let's not bury the lead here. Like you said, we made history with no couple saying I do. 2 weddings. That's another history maker.
We've had 2 weddings before.
And everyone else backed out beforehand?
Yeah, because it was who was with Clay? Was it Clay and
even Clay and AD made it to the altar?
They did, but was it Clay and Johnny? Was that the same season? Because they were the only 2 at the bachelor party. We were marked on it. They're like, we are the final 2 of Love Is Blind.
6.
Yeah, I forgot who else was with them. Because Clay and AD said no, and the other couple said yes. So I think it was Johnny and Amy.
Oh. Well, it says yeah, right.
Speaking of the bachelor party, were
Chelsea and Jimmy as well.
Chelsea and Jimmy. Oh, yeah. No, Chelsea and Jimmy didn't make it to the wedding.
Says Chelsea Blackwell and Jimmy Presnell made it to the altar.
No, they didn't. Don't you remember he broke with her at an amusement park?
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember the amusement park break.
Why did it say that? Hold on. Okay.
Are you looking at the Google AI overview? Because
I clicked on the article and I was trying to read through it quickly. But yes, the Google AI summary was incorrect.
This article brought to you by Google AI.
Speaking of the bachelor and bachelorette parties, were Calabria and Edmund at these bachelor and bachelorette parties?
I think so. I think it was. I mean, because it was a blink and you miss it. Bachelor.
Calabria was talking to her friends.
Okay.
Yeah, Calabria was talking to her friends just about like how she feels about him, and then Edmund on the other side was just like, I'm so ready to get married to her. Like this has to change me. Like I'm forced to change.
You know, it is surprising, not to like spoil the episode, but y'all probably watched it, to see a season where the men were all ready. Or I mean, at least the men were all going to say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Ready in air quotes.
Women, am I right, guys? Am I right? Women. Oh, crickets.
Well, look. I mean, right. I'm not one to be like. I guess I would say that at least in some of these examples, it did feel like maybe the women realized that they could do better. In some of these examples, not all of them.
I mean, in their minds.
In their minds, that's what I'm saying. In their minds, I felt that way.
Yes, better for what.
Yeah, they can only think in their minds.
I think all of them could say that, right?
Well, okay, but then they said yes. So.
Well, they said yes at when? In the pods?
No, I'm saying the men. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought you said the women thought they could do better. I would say I think all 3 women in this episode thought they could do better, so that's why they said no, where it didn't go to the altar.
Yeah. I
would say they could do better. Why do you think they can't?
I don't know that I would say. I think it's hard to say better when you're discussing Jordan, just because I feel like that's more of there's more extenuating circumstances there. It's not so much of a like I can do better than this. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's more different than better.
Right. Let's go ahead and start talking about the specifics here. So first up, we did get the bachelorette parties, but no real substance there.
I would just like the.
I mean, in the before we talk about the specific couple.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was crazy because what was this? It's just like. Did the producers get word that everyone's going to say no, and they're like, you know what, y'all deserve y'all don't deserve a great bachelorette party. You just sit in this like log cabin and hang out
And
for 3
chit-chat.
hours and then leave because y'all ain't getting where are they again? Where are they? They are in
Denver.
They're
You're
not
not getting
going
the
to a
Denver
Broncos
Broncos.
game. Yeah, you're not going to a Nuggets game. You can just sit in this cabin and chit chat. And you can leave. Since none of y'all want to get married, then you're not getting a big old celebration, okay? Because or maybe there was like we had a fun like Western themed bachelor party, but Edmund threw a temper tantrum, so we decided to nix that.
But like, why would they do a Western themed bachelor party after having just done the rodeo night? Isn't that kind of a little
Edmund is like
creativity.
Edmund's like exactly.
I'm
Edmund's
with
like,
Edmund on
exactly
that one.
Mary.
It's the same party twice.
Yeah,
That's lower budget.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to tell just based on how they were dressed and stuff. It's like, were they going to go skiing or tubing or something, or was this just like
maybe.
that was it?
Because I think Allie had on like snow goggle things. It was like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
And there was no like mingling between everyone. It was like in their own little corner. I was like, this is odd, weird.
They were having their own bachelorette parties. Well, for real on the bachelorette side, but just in the same location.
Yeah,
because of a limited crew, maybe.
Maybe.
It's just like you go with your people over there, over here.
I'm telling you, they're like, y'all suck this season, man. You ain't getting nothing from us. You get a little get together and that's it.
And so with Allie, why was this the first that we were explicitly told that Anton is a truck driver? Because we had been getting.
I thought we were told that. I felt in my mind, I felt like I knew he was a truck driver.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Well, when he met with her mother, I think they explicitly said he was a truck driver, and then he was like, and I'm also doing like some real estate stuff.
Yeah.
And so
He's
I think
listed as realtor, but like I feel like it's
he was
listed. It's like travel logistics or something.
Yeah, that's like transportation logistics or whatever. And they always fluff up the job titles. He's basically, I think he even trains truck drivers. Like that was even the thing. Like he's a truck driver trainer. So yeah, that was his thing. But yeah, they had said it before. But now we get in the context of like, oh, are you sure you can be married to a truck driver, a dirty, greasy truck driver? Isn't that above you?
No one said that.
No one said that.
That was the implication.
Jeez.
You don't think that was the implication?
I don't know.
That's a little far-fetched.
She literally said he's not. That's not someone that has a job that matches someone of your caliber.
She did say that her caliber.
Like,
so her caliber. So it's her caliber and then dirty. Like
that was the tone in which it was delivered. Like he is a truck driver, especially in the accent. He is a truck driver. Are you sure that is what you want to do? What you have is like
the point that I think that I think was more interesting here was when she said like her friend said, you need to be able to say yes to who he is right now, not just who you think he will be. And I don't think that that's always true. Like I do think that people are going to grow and change. And so don't say yes to someone right now if they're going to be different than they are now in a way that's also negative. Like you need to think about it, but you don't want to just say yes to potential.
Well,
right. You can't marry potential.
Yeah. It also seemed like we were getting this view of Anton where he's a little flaky, wishy-washy. Seems like he has a lot of like
big dreams.
Like, a lot of dreams, a lot of what do they call it? Pots in the fire. What is it? A lot of irons in the fire. That's what it is. He has a lot.
Pots in the fire.
I was like, what? That's not right. But he has a lot. He's not sure what he wants to do. He's got a lot of things going on, a lot of dreams he wants to do that. Some of them probably sound a little more I don't know, it's pie in the sky. And I don't know if that kind of, because it does kind of give a sort of instability or like, of like, I mean, he still doesn't know what he wants to do.
And I think we've all met people who we say like, oh, they're all talk and no action. They talk a big game, but they don't do anything. And I think that's the worry with Anton for her friends and herself.
Yes.
And it's one thing to be a dreamer. And it's another thing to just be like, taking action on these things. Because at this point, we've heard real estate, we hear barbershop, we hear restaurant.
Right.
Like, which lane are you going to commit to? Because you're not going to be able to start all of these at once. So where can Allie realistically see like your future going? So I did think it was funny that like, we do want these friends to be realistic in this situation in like how they feel. And so she was like, he may not drive trucks forever. And she's like, he also may drive trucks forever.
Right.
It's like,
I just thought
point.
those two friends were extremely like stuck up, and were like, especially with the of your caliber like remark. I was like, it's like, what is her caliber? Who is she? She's a princess of whatever. Like, who is this person? She's a normal person that can have a normal person husband with a normal person job. They're like, ugh, he has a normal person job. Ew, gross. That's the tone I got from their conversation.
Yeah, they're talking up their friend.
Maybe giving her delusions. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I generally feel like people are not like, you don't just deserve the life you want because you want it, I guess, and because you think you want to live with a certain amount of money or whatever. You can't just like project that lifestyle into the future and feel like, well, I deserve this because I'm pretty and I want it. I'm not saying that that's what she is doing. We don't know her. We don't know her life. Maybe she is a really high caliber person, whatever that means to her, right? I don't know. We don't know that. But I think, of course, everybody would want to be wealthy and taken care of and yada, yada, and happy if they could. But don't you think he wants that too? I don't know.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the decider of your marriage or relationship, the way that these two friends are trying to like propose. Like, I mean, like for Allie to say he makes good money, but not like, oh, she said he makes great money. And he's like, oh, well, he makes good money. I was like, oh.
And all of this is kind of a moot point when it comes down to, I don't think this has anything to do with the reason that she didn't want to be with him. So I think this is more like a critique
of the words right now. I was like, this is such a mute point because it doesn't matter. Like, that is not the reason she said no at the altar.
It felt like this was her trying to talk with her friends who either because of things she said or because of their own opinions feel like she deserves more. And like what you were just saying, Jason, when she corrected herself and said he makes great money, well, he makes good money. I feel like that was because she was like, well, hold on, they're going to ask how much and they're not going to agree. And like that felt like more like a thing she was saying for her friends to my ears.
Because what really validated that for me, like, it's one thing, like, your friends have this opinion, like, they want the world for you, right? When she was talking to her mom, like on the wedding day, and her mom is like, her mom said like, oh, we don't drink alcohol in this family. Allie's like, no, I do. I drink. And she's like, yeah, but like, we don't do it like he does. And Allie's like, well, no, like, I think he deserves some grace for that. I felt like she was taking up for him in all of these conversations, which just it really grinds my gears when that is the case. And then we get to the altar and it's like, actually, no, because there's evidence that she was talking about potentially saying no, plenty of like leading up to it. And so it's just like, it's mind blowing that they do this just for the gotcha, tricked you. You thought they were going to be the married couple and they're not.
The case here should be to give us the pros and cons of why you're going to say yes or why you're going to say no, not gaslight us in your whole wedding segment to be like, yeah, they are the best
from underneath this.
Like they would make the best husband / wife in the world, but then get the flash forward like, but I'm not going to get married to this person. Like, what? That makes no sense. Like, at least be like, well, I love him for these reasons, but there are also these reasons why I'm hesitant and skeptical of why I might say no. Like, that's
because then we're trying to say which one are they going to do, not, oh, you've told me one thing and now we're out of the blue doing the other.
Exactly. Because then for us, we're like, well, okay, what now? Allie looks fake to all of Anton's family, like to his mom, comes over and gives her a hug, and all, like, he got her sister who doesn't approve of this, who is there. And
I think the dead giveaway for me was just the fact that the only positive things she said about Anton on the wedding day were, I love him. I just so love him. I'm so in love with him. And that was it. There weren't reasons. There wasn't anything on that. It was like those sound bites of her saying she loves him could have been, I love him, but I just don't think that we're quite right together.
Well, I mean, she's telling him, like, he is an amazing man, but like, so amazing, you're not gonna get married to him.
So, like, Jason, you would be able to, in that scenario, tell someone's mom, like, I mean, I don't know, I'm still up for debate. He all right.
I mean, I wouldn't be like, gassing the mom up about the son and be like, he's so cool, like, but not for me though, bro. Like,
I mean,
like,
she still could think he's an amazing man, but not for her.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't take Allie to task too much, but I just feel like there was no, especially for us, a confessional. If you're not going to say something to the mom, or say something to her mom, say it in a confessional to us, the audience, of like, yes, he's an amazing man, but there's this, and this.
Well, maybe she did. I have more issues with
she probably
producers for not showing us.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't mean to say that Allie never said these things to the camera. Like, and when she's in a confession, she says, best case scenario is like, you can tell it was a producer question. She's like, well, I'm not saying yes, so what? But they're like, but let's say you did. Best case scenario for this whole situation.
Best case scenario, I completely changed my mind and decided to be
right. I walk up there.
Like, we can cut around that, right? We can edit around what she just said, right?
Because he said worst case scenario was her saying no, right?
Yeah.
And then even when we do get to the moment, and like she's explaining to us after the fact why she said no, she's selling us, I just thought I would feel differently up there. Like, I was hoping I'd feel at ease, and I was just hoping it would feel different, and it didn't.
People say that every season, and I just cannot imagine walking up to the altar still undecided. I feel like you're going into the day knowing what your answer is going to be.
I mean, hey, look, just as recent as yesterday, you and I had an interview with Miles from season 11 of Married at First Sight. Go check that out on our A Perfect Match podcast Patreon. But we talked to Miles, and on decision day for Married at First Sight, so Married at First Sight, everybody out there who doesn't watch, starts with a wedding, then 8 weeks, and then you decide if you want to stay married. He was a no until he got to the couch and decided, okay, I'm gonna be a yes.
I guess, but like that was more of a, like, she kind of convinced him in the moment to say yes,
and that's what Allie was hoping for. I think Allie was thinking, like, okay, if I get up here and I'm like, I don't want to walk away from this man, then I could be, and I do.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's more about me, what my feelings would be. I feel like going into that day, I would be like, I am either a yes or a no, and I know it already. Like, there's no wobbling in between.
We love that you're such a decisive person.
Hey, what can I say?
My issue is more that we've seen on a couple other seasons, but particularly this one, oh, you don't have to go through with the wedding. Why would anyone go through with the wedding if they're going to say no? Do they get extra money for making it all the way to the wedding, maybe?
That's my thought. That is my assumption.
Because otherwise, why would you do it?
Why get dressed?
Right. Put your family through this.
My biggest thing is bringing the family and the friends and subjecting them to that. Because
she made that little girl cry. Did you see the shots of the little girl? She said no. She was like, I was like, you made this little girl cry. How dare you?
Did y'all think, because of like everything we talked about, right? And leading up to her walking down the aisle, did y'all think she was going to say yes? Like, genuinely?
She gaslit me so hard, bro. I was like, maybe she's gonna say yes, but then I also have watched this show for 9 seasons and have seen this before, so I was still very undecided by the time. But yeah, by the time they were up there, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I knew he was. So here's the thing: at the bachelor party, he goes, "I'm definitely saying yes."
Right.
There's no doubt in my mind. So I was like, okay. At that moment, I was like, she's saying no. Because I feel like they're seeding us to be like, one end of this equation, but you don't know the other end. So I feel like that might mean it's a no.
And that happened with all 3 couples. I was like, okay, I 100% know one end, and so we're not sure what we're doing with the other one. I same as Jason. I felt gaslit because I think this whole season was leading up to her saying no, and then in this episode, I was like, well, I don't know. They're showing me that she's gonna say yes, so I guess maybe, even though I should have just gone with my gut.
We did well. All of our guts were right. We did all predict 2 weeks ago. We all said they would say no.
Yeah.
I do wonder if money. I know you guys are like, oh, she means that about the money, but I do wonder if it was a factor and Anton knew it, because when Anton's mother comes and talks to him, first of all, she's like, oh, my favorite child, my golden child. I was like, I hope Anton is the only child, because if he has any siblings, they're gonna watch that and be like, oh, really?
Cool.
If
he's not the only child, he's the youngest, because that's usually how it goes.
Yeah,
spoken from an older sister. That's jealous of her younger brother.
How it goes, Aston.
Yeah, always the favorite. But she made, like, his mom made a point to be like, it doesn't matter what you have in your pockets, it matters what you have in your soul. So I was like, has there been conversations?
Talked about that.
Yeah, have there been conversations around like she doesn't think I make enough money, or I don't know if I can fund her lifestyle.
The thing about the money thing, though, again, is, and I'm just trying to, this is not my personal opinion. This is what I'm saying from Allie. I think what she was trying to say about the whole truck driver thing was, like, it's not so much about the money he makes now or whatever. It's the drive and the ambition that I'm looking for. It's the person who wants to do something else with their life, which, I mean, is speaking to the fact that, like, yeah, she doesn't want to be with someone who is going to be a truck driver, like, forever. Like, that's not what she wants. So whether it's the money or the just, like, job title or whatever it is. And so I get the feeling that her bigger issue with him was more like, he came into the pods and presented himself as, oh, I'm someone who is a realtor and wants to start a business and wants to do this and this or whatever, works in real estate, whatever the thing was that he said. And then she comes home and she's like, oh, you're not actually doing, that's what you want to do. You're not actually.
You think he lied about being a truck driver in the pods?
I don't know.
No,
I don't think he lied about being a truck driver. I think he embellished his like progression in other areas. Like she probably thought real estate, barbershop, restaurant, these things are in motion. Like this is what I currently do to fund my lifestyle, but these other things are in motion. This is what, I think he talked up what he wants his life to be. That's why she felt that disconnect between the guy that was in front of her and what she had heard. Cause she's like, wait, his lifestyles don't match cause she even mentioned like eating healthy. Like there were a lot of things that weren't aligned to what she had heard and what she actually witnessed.
And that was shady when she said that he, like the show portrayed, or that he portrayed, he wasn't particularly forthcoming about his lifestyle, partying, drinking, how active he is, and how healthy he eats, etc. Cut to clip of him eating chips, and I was like, "Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and she
said, just been dumped. He's allowed to have some chips, thank you."
Yeah, and she was
that's
like,
the perfect time to have some chips.
Yeah, comfort food. And the way she was like, "Yeah, he's partying." Like, did you witness him partying, or is this what you still what you heard
about it?
Yeah, like what? Like,
but see, even that, I was like, oh, she mentioned, when she was talking to her friends, it was like, oh, the girlfriend, she's only been a girlfriend for 3 months, so I don't even know if I can.
4 weeks, girl.
Yeah,
that was so confusing. And she was like, yeah, I heard from his best friend's fiance, and they're like, oh, is that the girl that said the thing about the party? She's like, no. Like the way she said it was like, that's his girlfriend. Like, does he have a fiance and a girlfriend? I'm confused.
No, it's two different friends.
I know. Yeah. It was the way it was worded. I was like, what is going on? And so she does say, like, after she says no and everything, she's like, she's like, maybe his friends' opinions did get to me. Maybe I was like, well, use what you have seen in the last 3 weeks. Is he partying? Is he doing this or that? We didn't hear that, so I'm assuming no.
Are you forgetting about the 12 beers and the half a?
But like Anton's the only person we've seen on this season that is seemingly sober every time we see him. That might mean he is a functioning alcoholic. We don't know. We have no idea. But he's the only person we've seen that has not been like Fallout sloppy drunk.
Annie.
Yeah, no drunk Annie over there. But so I was like, I don't know, man. It was.
But I like back to the money point. I do think there's a certain, because there's that thing that they say like are like women and men's like basic needs, right? And like one of women's basic needs is like security. And if she felt, because she's not Sparkle Megan, like I think these are two different conversations here. Allie is looking for someone that can provide for her. And if she's not seeing like him backing up what he's saying, because if she's like, okay, outside of the pods, he's not backing up what he said in the pod, so how can I trust what he's saying now? I feel like she made the right decision in saying no. It's just like the show edited it in a way that we're just like, what?
Yeah, but I think if they got out of the pods and he was like, I don't know, a base level cashier at Burger King, I think that would be one thing. But he has a career. He is making, if it's not great money, it's good money, enough that he seems confident enough to, in the conversation they had a couple episodes ago, that to fund her lifestyle so that she can go back to school and he could still support them. So I it's not as if he was a bum that could not support her. Maybe it's an instance of he could not support her at the level that she wanted to be supported, which may be an elevated level to like normal, which is like
I'm not gonna stand by this normal. Everyone lives a different life.
Yeah.
So what like whatever she wants.
Says Aysha Welch.
She can go. No,
everyone has a
she
different
can
standard
go for
of
whatever
living.
she wants. If she's looking
True.
for, like, that's gonna be her standard. If it's gonna be harder for her to find, it's gonna be harder for her to find. But that's just the life she wants to live.
Yeah, I also would like to, like all these couples, I would love to know, like, who came into the, because I mean, he says, I think, does he say later that he thought she was going to say yes? Like, what?
Yeah.
How confident were you coming into this day about whether she was going to say yes or no? He did seem very nervous, and like I said, that he and the mother had that conversation of like, because the mom's like, well, listen, if she says no, she says no, which leads me to think he had a little bit of doubt going into this, saying like she might say no because of this or that. So but he was crushed by the.
I mean, even his friend called her cold-hearted effing B word. I was like, good Lord.
Yeesh. Who Peter? You're Cheerios.
Clutch my pearl, forget we were watching Netflix.
Goodness. And let's talk about like the moment where she goes no, and then she runs off as if she was the one that was just broken up with and not the breaker upper.
She was boo-hooing.
Yeah, I was like, girl, you did this. You decided this. So like everyone's consoling her, like, oh, you poor thing. Like she's the one that said no. Do y'all remember that? That happened 2 minutes ago.
But that's my thing. I think it was a matter of, which I think was the case with all of these women, but I think with her in this example was a matter of her choosing her. She genuinely cared for him as a person. Like, she doesn't think that he's like, this is no Deep D and Shake where she's just like, I just want to watch you be hurt. Like, she wasn't mad at him. She don't hate him. Like, she wishes the best for him, but she recognizes that he is not for her. And so it hurt her to have to make that decision, right?
I get that. Mm-hmm. I get that.
And so, and I mean, I like seeing this side of that, like genuinely crushed over this person that I've gotten to know. Like, but yeah, I felt for him. His mom was, she was there for him. She said good, nice things for him.
She said she ain't nothing. You get over that. Ain't nothing. Can we talk about her sisters though? Like, we heard about this sister.
Yeah.
An episode or two ago of how she's very disapproving. She might not come to the wedding. Allie's sisters come into the bridal suite, and like 2 or 3 of her sisters oh great, like this is so much fun or whatever. And there's this other sister like she's like could be from a horror movie.
Yeah, she's like blooming in the corner,
like just watching with a stone cold face. Like, and then tells like, I disapprove of this, but if you think it's for you, it's for you. It's like, oh, like this is some bad energy. I wish you wouldn't have come, because this is not the right this is not the vibe to bring to this.
And this is where I wonder is like, did the cameras go off and she goes, don't worry, I'm gonna say no, don't worry about it.
maybe
don't haunt me, please.
And then when everyone's consoling Allie because she said no, that sister is nowhere to be found. She was in her seat at the reception, like, I knew it. Eating her popcorn, like, told you this wasn't for you.
Oh, yeah, that was a wild ride, So,
and also we could save 3 minutes off this episode if they had cut the silence of after they said, Allie, do you do? There was like 3 minutes of pure silence. Do you do? Yes. That going forward needs to be what they say from now on. Do you do?
Allie, do you do?
Do you do? Anton, you do? But there's like 3. That's like, I'm exaggerating, obviously. It was like 3 minutes of silence before she gave her answer. I was like, okay, this is enough. Like, this is a lot.
Yeah, and I can't be your wife. Oof. Especially for him to think she's gonna say I do.
He took his hands away, like, give my hands back.
Can we acknowledge that? Did y'all notice how he was standing? He like had his head lifted up high, and he had this like, I don't know. It was it was so tense. You could like the nerves he had was seen all through his posture. Yeah. I don't know if anybody else out there noticed, but he was standing like a statue. But
and we didn't have like the, I don't, because sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. We didn't get the debrief, right? Of like whoever goes to find whoever, like, so why'd you say no? Like, or a little like thing. He's like they may never see each other again until the reunion.
Yes, God, yeah. All right,
yeah.
Let's talk about the next couple. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me cue it up. I know that's what y'all want. Oh, I almost deleted it. Okay. Sorry, guys. I literally, it had when I rewatched it and I heard it, I said, I have to record this for Jason's intro.
Aysha, you gotta stop watching this show twice.
I really do. I give them double the views.
You're making them think we enjoy this type of thing, Aysha.
We're not even getting screeners this year. Why are you doing this?
I might go back and watch it a third time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Calabria and Edmund. Another case of just rug pulled from under us because, of course,
Was it? Was
No.
it really?
I don't think so.
I do think it was because they only included the positive from her. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
but-
just watching it with the naked eye, you would think coming into this, based on the words she's saying, it could be a possible yes.
If you only saw this episode, yes. But the thing I noticed with this one is what are her qualms about him? All of the things that she has been frustrated with him in the past, she didn't even bring up, meaning that they still exist. They're just not showing them to us.
Yeah.
I mean, she mentioned things. She's like, she's listing things. He's a loving man. He's a healing man. He's a stubborn man. He is a growing man.
And none of those things were really, really positive. I guess the loving man. And she said that she always feels.
He does make me feel loved. It seemed like it was like she gave all the negatives, and then they're like, but what do you do? Like, he makes me feel loved.
Yeah. And I felt the tenor of most of the moments here were kind of like, this is her getting ready to say no. Like,
yeah.
The mom comes in and she's like, we're getting ready to get married today. And she says nothing. She's just like,
the fact that she first walks in and is crying over just like her name and stuff and not really. Oh, it was kind of like, oh, this is so cute. Oh, this is like a little fun setup for this fake thing that's gonna happen.
Even his ring. Oh, is that his ring? She said that like, oh, are those his rollerblades?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's for him. Okay. But the fact that her mom went to see him first, because she said her mom loves her some Edmund. I was like, her mom knows the answer.
You think
so?
I thought she did. I felt like she was going to him to make sure he's okay, make sure that he's going to be able to make it out of this. Her mom looked so calm and like grounded during the ceremony. It felt like she knew what Calabria was going to do.
Maybe she was told right beforehand, but I do feel like she didn't know leading up, because the thing she was saying made her think that there was a chance this was going through. But listen, put Miss Aysha in the parent hall of fame with Clay's mom,
and Miss Welch.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh,
she's gotta go in the hall of fame.
We'll talk about Miss Welch. Oh boy,
I was all up in this episode,
man. This was her moment. She's like, let me, bruh. Okay, we'll talk. I want that in its own little mini segment. So we'll talk about that when we get there.
You got a picture of her, Aysha? We should pop her up.
I know, right?
Wedge her right in between them. But her mom was so great, because I think she probably had maybe she was told by production, like, hey, like, Edmund's mom's not going to be here. Edmund does not have a lot of family here for whatever reason. Why don't you just go in?
No, not even. Let's not brush over that. His mom, who has been on this, it was in this drop, is not able to make it. And you could tell in his confessional that really broke his heart, because he just was kind of like, oh, that's another, like, she can't be here, but that's another thing. And like, it's one of those things where he's so frustrated, because it's like, we were wondering at the time, like, what's that situation? We know he grew up in foster care. So it seems like it's one of those things where it's it's a trying relationship. And this is probably one thing he just really wanted her to be there for. And, something else took priority.
And it felt like when we met Miss Carrie, his mother, it was like, it just felt like something was like not all the way copacetic there. So I don't know what it could have been that kept her away from this. Who knows? But I did also know that, because Miss Carrie, when she was here, was talking about like, hey, all your brothers, all this and that. And none of them seemed to be there. Like, none of his family except for his father, who for whatever reason we never heard.
Yeah, he could be on camera, but we didn't hear a single word from him.
So that's interesting. There seems to be a lot going on there. And I did love Calabria's mom, Miss Aysha, coming in and like make sure he was okay and letting him know like, hey, like, you know, it's, you know, not because she doesn't love you, it's because of whatever else is going on. I really love that she was there for him through that, and I really love that they seem to have already have had a good camaraderie, a good relationship through. I mean, why couldn't we have seen that meeting? You know,
can I posit something that we haven't directly talked about? We've talked about Calabria sometimes talking to him like she's a parent, right?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the fact that maybe that's what he wants in some way.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like we haven't talked about, like, we've had comments and stuff saying, oh my gosh, if I was Edmund, I would never want to be with someone like Calabria, the way that she talks to him and stuff. And I'm going, yeah, so why does he seem to be okay with that? Because some of the stuff she says does come across a little harsh towards him. And so I think I think we're learning more and more every time we hear more about his upbringing and his parents, of why maybe he's okay with someone who's going to, like he says, you know, try to make him a better man, put the pressure on him, be there for him in that way. And I don't think Calabria wants to be somebody's, you know, have that role with somebody necessarily.
Yeah,
I think that's
very true.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
And I'll say, without spoiling too much, because we're going to get into it more, I think there's a lot about the way that their wedding and their decision differs from, for example, Allie and Anton's, that I think displays her knowledge of the role that she plays in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so with Calabria's mom, that's the reason I felt like she knew, only because she was. I mean, they both. You can tell that's Calabria's mom. Like they.
Oh yeah, they look just alike.
Yeah, right. They look alike. They act alike. Like I feel like they have such a nurturing quality about them, that the thing that she said that really, like, I was like so glad she said that to him, was like, the people that need to be here are here for you.
Right.
And so that was just like just really sweet. Like he needed that. And
that's the first thing she asked was, who's here for you today?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you got when my daughter breaks your heart? Who are you going to?
See, that's what I thought she knew.
Yeah, maybe.
But we also got Miss Welch.
Wow, I did not expect to be witness to The Blind Side 2 when I came into this episode here. This was something. This was wild.
He towered over her. I was like, man, is
she's
tall.
tiny.
Yeah, or she's 4'11". And so it was, you know, we get to hear about this relationship that he had. She's his 5th grade teacher. She cared for him in multiple ways. Like, she had meals for him. She was just there for him when he needed that. He called her his guardian angel.
Mm-hmm.
And we even just hear the opposite side of it from her experience. Was like, she felt like he taught her how to teach in a different way. Because when he was in her class, he was like all over the place and dancing. And she's like, now I encourage my students to do that because you were still able to learn in that way. And so like, this is a very impactful relationship for him.
Yeah, I know I was making a stupid joke a second ago, but this got me, like, this really got me in this moment, like how much he loves her and she loves him, and the impact they've had on each other, and how she was there for him constantly throughout this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Of like, she was like, call me mama too. I was like, oh my gosh, mm-hmm. Like that.
And he said mama 2 or mama 1.
Yeah, either one. Like, the position is up for grabs. The position is vacant right now. But I really loved that, like, you know, that she was there for him, and I loved how she really like pepped him up in times where he needed it. Like, it was like, you know, she was talking like, you make an impact on everyone you meet. She was talking about how, you know, all the teachers were there for him on his last football game in college just to go see him. So like, you can tell the relationship they've had throughout the years and how much impact they had on each other. I thought it was a really touching moment when they were I mean, like, she looks pretty young, and Edmund's like 28. So you can imagine, like, this might have been like her first year teaching, and to get
Miss Honey. from Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda.
That's what I was thinking.
I was like, and so like you can imagine a first year teacher dealing with someone like who we see Edmund, who he is at 28. You can imagine who he was at however old you are when you're in 5th grade. And the way she described it, where he's like, yeah, dancing and jumping and all, he does that now. So I can only imagine it's so much worse when he was a kid, and how that kind of taught her how to teach in a different way. I was like, oh, that really got me. I have a cold, dead heart, but that reignited something in my heart.
And I was confused at first when he said like, oh, I've got my rollerblading community here, my 5th grade teachers here, my dad, and I was just like, 5th grade teacher, like why? That was it seemed to me like, well, he's got a ragtag group of people here that we don't know about. And then when she came in, I was like, oh, that's why he was calling her out.
Yeah. And it felt like, well, I mean, I guess it was, I mean, maybe this was a given, but she flew in for this because she was like, you had to come all the way to Denver to find like your person. So, that's tough. Because when we think about it, like, yeah, we head into the ceremony, and from our perspective, we expected Calabria to say no. It's kind of like we were given we all predicted 2 weeks ago that they were going to say no. And we were expecting it every step of the way, like that there were reasons why she would say no, but they still went to the altar. And I know she told him, like, I was going back and forth, but do y'all think it should have gone all the way to the altar?
No. And listen, she going back and forth. She knew she was saying no. You know why? Because when they walked into that ceremony, her section was like half empty. She was like, I don't need to invite a bunch of people because it's not gonna go great. But yeah, I think she can say, they can say all they want. Like, oh, I was so undecisive going up there, but she knew there was going to be a no. She had to know.
And this is why I really wonder about the format of the show, right? Because if they are given, if there's a significant reason why they should get to the altar, a significant amount of money difference or some other sort of perk from the show, I could totally believe that couples would say like, hey, no matter what, whether or not we say yes or no, like, let's just make it to the altar. Let's do that. Because otherwise it feels like one person is like, oh, I'm just trying to get my bag. So I don't know.
But I think if that was ever the case, we would not get these like very distraught other side of this, because I think Anton maybe was wavering whether or not he thought it was going to be a yes or no, but Edmund obviously thought it was going to be a yes. Like, he was dead set, like, oh, this is no problem. And I don't know if that is him maybe not picking up on cues he should have picked up on, or what KB was saying to him in moments. I don't know, but he seemed very like confident that it was going to be a yes up until the last moment.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to mention that my friend texted me about was that with Anton and Allie's wedding, Allie wore like an old pair of shoes she already owned. Like, it wasn't like a brand new pair of shoes or anything specific for her wedding day. And she was like, Allie is not the type of person that would be doing would wear just like, oh, I already own a pair on her wedding day.
Did she say she had already owned them? How do you know that?
No, she watched it and saw her, like, looked at her shoes.
Wait, did you get the running tally of the shoes Allie was wearing throughout the season?
Not me.
No, your friend.
No, my friend saw that like her shoes were like clearly like used. You can tell like shoes are brand new or not.
I thought she was gonna be like, oh, those are the shoes Allie wore in episode 3.
No.
At 4281 or 4251. That's when I saw her wearing these shoes.
Yeah, no, because I didn't even notice it. Even on the rewatch, I didn't even look at her shoes because I don't even look at. That's something about me. I can't tell. Like, if we looked away, I have no idea what shirt y'all have on. Jason probably has on a black or a white or a gray shirt. But I have I don't look at clothes.
That was I did not deserve that drive-by shading that you just lobbied at me. That was rude.
Hold on, I'm going to go back and look at all of our podcast episodes. I don't know if you've ever worn anything other than a black shirt. Hold on.
I've worn a gray shirt before.
It's his uniform.
Several times.
Gray, black or gray.
That's pretty much my whole wardrobe. Okay.
Right. Let's see. Last week it was either black or navy blue.
He's like, I own a blue shirt.
It might have been the same shirt you're wearing now.
It for sure could be. It really, really could be.
Oh, I see her shoe. I'm going back and looking. I do see her shoes. But yeah, I mean, it's a pair she owns, so they're like obviously nice shoes. But anyway,
yeah, she's like, I don't need to bring out my best for this.
Right? Exactly.
It's not gonna be some photos I'm looking back at later. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Fun fact: this entire season, Jason has worn a black T-shirt, and everybody.
None of the regular watchers of me and Asia's content will be surprised. There are hundreds of episodes with me and Asia that this black shirt every episode. They already know.
And I've probably worn a black shirt maybe like twice.
And I have been in a hotel or other locations 3 out of 5 times, or 4 out of 5 times.
Busy.
So with Calabria and Edmund, this was a very interesting decision at the altar because, like you said, Mary, we saw this dynamic of, where she's caring for him. So she is the one he says, I do. Even his like vows that he's saying, it's all about, he's just going hard. Like, I love you. I'm going to, you were like, the best person for me, whatever. Right. And then when she just can't even say the words,
right?
He's like, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah, you talk about Allie's long pause. I feel like this was a long pause before the decision.
And she's just like, I'm sorry. Like, she is instantly apologetic. So it's that same feeling that Allie had. But because of their dynamic, she knows this decision is hurting him. And she's like, are you okay? And he's like, I have to say I'm okay, but I'm not okay. But I have to say I'm okay. She's like, no, it's okay to feel how you want to feel. And he like cries into her shoulder.
Oh,
I know.
That was crushing. And I think the thing about it is that's what illustrates why she said no, right? Because if she continued this, she would have to be his caretaker constantly, right? She would have, like, she mentions, like, as she's letting him down, she goes, it was easy for me to fall for you and your story. It was like, wow, like it felt like the social worker in her was driving this relationship. And I think at some point she was like, I cannot be married to a man that I feel like I have to.
Is she a social worker?
She's a traveling social worker.
Okay. I was going to say, because you've said that multiple times, and I was like, is that like a metaphor?
Like why does Jason keep saying that?
No, literally.
That's me. Like all other episodes. Why do they keep saying Anton's a truck driver?
Yeah, you guys gotta pay attention, man. Come on. But yeah, she's like, your story is like kind of, and it felt like that's what was driving her. And I think she realized, like, this man, I can't be married to a client. I can't be married to.
I can't bring work home.
Right, exactly. And that, I feel like that's what she would have been getting if she stayed married to him. Like, and after she says no, and she's back in their bridal suite with her mom, and her mom's like, you couldn't lie to yourself and say and marry him, like, because what would life have been like? She's like, I would have been miserable. It's like, whoa, you've been miserable.
That's the same thing that Joe said.
Joe said, yeah, for different reasons.
Yeah,
Joe did say he would be miserable if he was with.
Yeah.
Jason's like, there was a Joe.
Oh.
Now we've all had our points of confusion.
Listen, the season is already starting to mind wipe from my memory. I haven't seen Joe in a couple episodes. It's going. It's leaving.
No, when I saw Nick and Annie on the little flashback, I said, whoa, that feels like ages ago.
Literally last episode.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But I think the way that she had to break it to him and how crushed he was and how much he was there for him was like, yeah, this would have been your whole life. So
yeah, exactly.
I think we all were supportive of her saying no. We all thought she should say no.
Absolutely.
To be clear, some people are fine with that. I just don't think that's what she wanted.
I think it's an extreme case in Edmund's, like in Edmund's case. I think it's probably all the time, every day. There's something going on that she has to console him about. She has to bring him down from something, because he seems like an extremely emotional person. For the good, it's great when it's great, but it's real bad when it's bad. So I don't think she wanted to have to deal with that every day, all the time.
And I think this is the second case this episode of the woman choosing herself, because she can be everything that Edmund needs. She could have completely fulfilled him. But she has to think about what she needs. And she realized a lot of her needs were not being met. And she decided to choose herself, even knowing how much it was going to break his heart. And even in his confessionals, like in his last confessionals, he was just like, this sucks. Like, I can't even, this really sucks. Like, I can't even make up something to like, you know, to say something positive. Right. So I don't know. This was interesting because it almost gave me shades of Patrick and Casey, because Calabria is saying like, look, this, you know, I can't like, I can't be, you deserve someone who's 100% for you. Right. And then he's like, well, maybe down the line. And she's like, I'm never give up. She said, I'll never give up on you.
Well, there were also some other times where it was like pretty much like, this is done. She I think she said something like, we've had enough time to come to this decision, as if like, this is my decision and there's nothing that's to be done from here. I think she's something else that was like,
there was something where she said, you will always be a big stepping stone in my life.
I was like, she said you were
that's a little harsh the way that came out. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, she's like, I will never forget you. Like, I will always remember you.
You
like,
were a big stepping stone in my life. Yeah.
And I think what she meant was like, you were a big moment, a big
impact.
Impact. But it sounded to me more like, you were that thing I needed to push myself further, you know?
Now I really know what I need.
Yeah. That part sounded final to me, of like, you know, I'll
that's why I said almost. Because for him to say, well, maybe down the line, this sounded to him at that moment like, okay, we shouldn't get married, but maybe we could date.
And and at first I thought she was also feeling maybe the same way, or like trying to imply the same thing, but it wasn't until the stepping stone line when I was like, oh no, she's done. Like, she's trying to make sure that he knows.
Because it was mixed messaging when he's like, man, you got the best after the nose.
Yeah,
you got the best body. She's like, you got the best body I've ever seen.
But I think that illustrates his constant highs and lows. Of like, one minute he's sobbing, and then the next minute it's just like, yeah, I fell in love with you blonde, but you look good, baby. Like, wow, we were just like at sobbing 2 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but I did appreciate, and maybe it's just because of their dynamic, but like, that this wasn't the runaway bride or groom. This wasn't the big mean speech. That this was I'm letting a person down, and I'm going to continue to stand here and hold their hand until we're in a better spot to where we can walk away. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to, we're going to say positive things about each other. Like, I appreciated that they did that, because I think that there's other people in past. And I understand also that, like, when you're doing a hard thing, when you're breaking up with someone very publicly, you want to just get out of there. I get that too. But I appreciated that it did make it feel less awkward for the audience, probably the people there and us watching.
Yeah. I think she handled this the best anyone's ever handled something like this, because she was there for him. She stayed with him, and like you said, Mary, made sure he was okay-ish. And they walked out of the thing together, and then he walked off on his own. So it's like, yeah, like, I feel like she was there for him to kind of break it to him easy, not to be like, no, and then say bye and run off.
And then when his teacher ends up going over and talking to him, I did really feel for him when he said, like, maybe there's just no one for me. Like, I mean, he was going a little bit toward, hysterics, but at the same time, I completely understand the thought of like, I even tried this. I tried Love is Blind and it didn't work, Yeah,
but then when we lost Aysha. I don't know what happened.
Aysha left. Goodbye.
Aysha left. She is sick of our stuff.
And we're back. So, yes, Edmund was so sad about having like Love is Blind being his last attempt. I officially petition that Calabria should be on Perfect Match if they bring it back.
Oh
yeah, that'd be fun. Because I think she can definitely get fiery. We've seen that, and I feel like that's a really good like thing for Perfect Match.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Edmund's got to do some work. He's got to do some work on himself before he runs back out there and tries to marry someone else. And even in this conversation he has with his teacher, he's like, "Man, I was so good to her." I was like, we saw some moments where you weren't. We saw and heard some moments where you were not great. You were apparently very dismissive, very like cold to her at moments.
But he said something nice.
He said something nice. Go on. Oh. So I'm like, and I think that even goes back to the like him not taking accountability, as like KB had been saying throughout the whole season. He doesn't take accountability. He had that whole conversation. Well, if I don't think I'm wrong, I'm not gonna say I'm wrong. But you were wrong. So it's like, so I think he's got some maturing to do for sure. He's got some work to do on himself. I don't know if he even thinks of it like that, because I feel the vibe I get from him is he thinks it's all honky dory and cool. Like he thinks there's nothing wrong, that he is perfectly mature human being, which is like, I don't know. I don't think I saw that. And he has Miss Jessie being like, oh, she was just a sapphire. You deserve a diamond. Yeah. I'm like, not too hard on KB now. Not too hard on KB, Miss Jessie. I might have to come be like, I like you and everything, but you're doing a little too much for that.
I actually liked what I thought she was saying. Like, she was great. She was nice. I'm not trying to insult the person you were just in love with, but there is someone clearly better out there for you. Not better, but better for you.
Better for him.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be very
somebody's
curious.
Diamond.
Yeah, that would have been better. She's a diamond. She's not your diamond. Not be like, oh, she a dirty, rusty sapphire. You need a diamond. Like, oh, come on now. I didn't love that.
I'm curious to know, like, at the reunion, my biggest question is going to be, what perspective did Edmund gain from watching himself?
Right.
That's from what it feels like. Well, I mean, yeah, from watching himself on TV. Yeah, that might be different than what he feels in this moment.
Yes.
And there were like, someone spotted Edmund and Anton out at a bar together. So right, but this was like before the wedding episodes. It was like, ooh, are they single or not? Or we don't know. But we can't move on from Edmund and Calabria without talking about how he did leave the pick in his hair for the ceremony.
Did you think he wasn't going to? Like, if there was one thing I would have bet on, if there was like a Love Is Blind betting pool, it would be that Edmund was going to have a pick in his hair at the wedding. Like, you surprised by that, Aysha?
I thought, like, this is a formal event.
Aysha, it is the man's brand. Okay, that he can't do anything without the pick in his hair. That is him.
Because the whole point of a pick in your hair is to be able to pick your hair, right? Like, stay fresh.
No, it's a fashion symbol for him. It's obviously not a functional thing. It's fashion for him. He has several different designs we've seen over the season. I'm personally insulted that you have him in this picture right here without a pick in his hair, to be honest with you. And I think he would be upset as well.
We don't know that it's not in there. It just might be the angle of his head that we can't
Aysha might have edited it out. That could have been the thing. She's so anti-pick.
You really overestimate my editing abilities. Just live in front of our interviewing guests. Hey, just so you know, like, we can edit however you want. This says the guy who is not editing the podcast.
Like you said, I have utmost faith in your abilities.
Yeah, see.
And you have to tell that to the interviewer so they could be open. We can lie and not take it out later, but we have to say that to him when he comes on the podcast.
No. Anything else on Calabria and Edmund?
No, I mean, she obviously made the right decision.
Yes.
And I think your call of perfect match is great. Listen, if we get another perfect match season, I do hope she is included.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they have for us at the reunion, because we're not going to get any like animosity unless stuff has happened between the wedding and the reunion.
Right. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I do feel like with the way that Calabria and Edmund have went back and forth the whole season with her being so mad at him and taking him back pretty easily, I would not be shocked if they had like met up a few more times in the.
Oh, really?
I'm assuming this is probably going to be like a year in between the filming and the reunion. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe, started either dating or, whatever.
Oh, no, I would be surprised if they started dating.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think this was the out that she needed.
Yeah.
Because she's just being like, I think she recognized early on that this was not her guy. And it was just a matter of just like being.
How to let him down and what way. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I just wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I would.
I could believe that they were friends or friendly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could believe that they would be friends. Edmund still has those feelings, and she's had to kind of like be like, set that barrier or set that boundary that their relationship's not going to be more than that. Maybe I could see that. But if they actually dated, I would be shocked. But we'll see. And then last but not least.
Well, last and least. Last and least, yes.
I look at the episode. I said 14 minutes left.
Yep.
I know. I was like, if they're rolling this last
What?
bit into the reunion, I'm confused.
Yeah, we're gonna have a cliffhanger. No, we're at Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan's apartment.
Now, I did say last episode that I could believe. Now, this is not what I predicted. What I predicted was that she was gonna say, I haven't had the time, and given the respect with your child situation, let's continue dating, but we're not going to the wedding right now. That's what I predicted happening. That was not what ended up happening. But I did at least predict that this scenario would go down to where they were not going to go to the altar.
Yeah. I mean, before we saw that last week, 2 weeks ago, we all predicted that they would say yes at the altar. Yeah. And then, of course, that big conversation happened last week. So obviously that shifted things. But we come in on this conversation where Sparkle Megan is just like, she has been just in a tizzy because she woke up early at 4:30 a.m., couldn't stop crying, and was just kind of like, oh my gosh, this ain't it, basically. Like, everything is hitting her at once, and she's realizing, like, being a stepmom has a lot that comes with it. Our lifestyles are different. We don't even eat the same. And she's realizing, oh my gosh. And this seems like a big shock to him.
Well, because it's a big shock to him that she's saying the things that he's been saying to her this whole time of like, hey, this is going to be a big thing. This is going to be like, of course he was telling her, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But he was telling her, yes, this is good. It's going to be a big sacrifice on your part. There's a lot of moving parts with dealing with Luca and being with me and Luca. And like I said in the episode prior of how they had that conversation in their closet, it just really felt like her eyes were opening to what her life would be. And it's all fun and games in the pods where you're like, oh, it's gonna be so cute. I'm gonna live in a quaint, poor person lifestyle. And then when you get in it, and you're like, wait a minute, this ain't it. Like, this ain't, like, I can't. You mean I can't go to? What do you mean I can't go to Aspen at 10 a.m. on a Monday because you got Luca? What are you talking about? So I do think it was her. Now she's fully realized this is not the life I want. This is not the life that I envisioned. It felt like by the end of this, I was very disillusioned with Sparkle Megan. The sparkle is gone for me because it felt like she was treating this as like a fun little jaunt to another lifestyle. Then she got in and it was like, oh no, this is not what I want. And it's Jordan.
Surprise, surprise. I disagree. I think that people are being way too hard on Sparkle Megan. I think that they both are at fault here. Yes, she is at fault for underestimating the responsibility that goes into him having a child, right? But he also is making it as if, look, it's me and Luca. You fit into that. And I told you, I warned you, I'm a normal guy. This is the life that I live. There was a meeting in the middle that could have happened. And I don't feel like Jordan, like, yes, he has the responsibility of Luca, who he has the responsibility as a father, but he already stated, like, Luca won't be living with them full time. But it's also as if he had this expectation that any stepmom that comes into the picture is going to have to fit into what we have already going on.
I kind of am inclined to basically agree with what you're saying. It's for me, the comparison I make is I was dating a guy once who was in dental school, and I remember feeling like, and I was just working 9 to 5, and I recognized that we had very different schedules. He would be studying, he would be busy, yada yada. But anything, my birthday, any big event, he couldn't come to. He didn't want to come to. He didn't want to take the time out because he was busy and he was tired on the times he wasn't doing that. And I could respect that. That being said, there were a lot of people in his dental school who were married, who had kids, who had other responsibilities and were making it work somehow, or who were just going out and doing other things. And so I'm like, the comparison here is this is the way Jordan is handling being a parent versus how everyone necessarily could. There is definitely a way they could have met in the middle or both been flexible. I do think Megan, based on the way that she was talking, came across pretty naive in terms of the actual extent that a child would be in her life.
Mm-hmm.
I also completely understood what she was saying, where she was like, I don't want to do all the things that I want to do by myself. I don't want to just go off and live that life by myself. I do want a partner who can do those things. There was a meeting in the middle. Maybe you're going to do those things 60% of the time by yourself, and 40% of the time he's going to be able to do it. And you're going to find a way that Luca can either be involved or is going to have, a babysitter during those times or whatever. Like there was a meeting in the middle. There was a compromise that could have happened. And I do respect the fact that she was basically saying, like, I'm not going to go through with this and mess up a child's life, or I should say, make a child's life more complicated, who is not, part of this decision.
But
so
you say, I'll do it by myself 60% of the time, you come 40%. I don't even know if, take Luca out of the equation, is he in a situation where he can take off a bunch of time off work and go with her to these places 40% of the time? He might, from the gist I was getting, it was like, does he work a sales job? Because like he said something about like,
we have no clue.
She doesn't even know. Remember, he wouldn't talk to her about his work.
But he's like, he said something about he has to talk to people for 10 hours a day. Like if he has like a sales job where most of his income is coming from working, he has to be at work to sell things, to make money, to finance his life. He still can't go jaunting off with Sparkle. Even when he doesn't have Luca, he still has a regular 9-to-5 job where he can't like just F off to Italy for a week that he doesn't have Luca.
I guess I just say the part I identify with her is like being as someone who will do things. When I was in college, I had my classes. I was a TA. I worked at the dining hall. I was in a sorority. I did all these things, and I still had time to like write messages to my friends on their birthdays. And so when they wouldn't do it back because they would claim they're too busy, I'm like, no, I am just as, if not more busy, and I'm still managing to do it. And that's not to say everyone needs to do the same. My point is different people handle their load differently. Exactly. And so the way that he handles his load is, this sounds terrible. There's got to be a better way for me to not say it that way. You know what I'm saying? The way that
I was refraining from saying something.
The way that
not you biting your tongue, and I didn't even until you said that I didn't even hear it that way.
The way that he copes with his schedule and what he has to do is different than maybe she would want him to, or that other people would. The second factor here is, and this is all allegedly, but I have seen some things online that there is some question as to exactly what lifestyle she does have and exactly what money she does have versus what might be putting on for what she's acting like she has. So it's a little unclear. I guess we're just saying he's not telling her what his job is. I don't know exactly how reciprocated that is.
That's where I really struggled with this breakup, because I felt like the reason I felt like he was so caught off guard is because it wasn't like this mutual understanding, because she's explaining these things like, hey, I've done all this stuff by myself. I want to get married so that I can have a partner to like experience these things with. And he's like, well, if I had $1 bajillion, then we would be making it to the altar. And it's not as simple as that. It's not like, oh yeah, if you had $1 bajillion, then you could, like, there were other differences that she brought up. I think it's a matter of like what you're saying, Mary, is like you make time for what you want to make time for.
Right.
And not in the matter of, oh, I need to go travel and do these things. But let's not forget, she had an issue with their day-to-day. They didn't have conversations. He said he liked nice restaurants. They never went to one. And it was like, even in their day-to-day, she wasn't being fulfilled. So it was like that extra thing about the traveling and stuff. That's like, okay, this just adds to it. And then to add Luca to the mix at the bachelorette party, her friends are like, look, I don't want you to say yes because you're saying yes to the kid, which is a legit thing. I had an ex that had a kid, and I did break up with him when I realized I liked the kid more than him. And so I was like, bad sign, got to go. But like that, like which we were seeing, like, which we were speculating, like, oh, is this, compassion that she has for Luca and his type 1 diabetes because her dad has it? Is that going to play a factor? It just felt like he really did not, I guess, resonate with why she was doing this. He assumed his reason, like, okay, I don't have a lot of money, so this is why it's ending. And I'm like, he heard her, that wasn't what she was saying.
And I think, like, And I want to be clear, like, actually, at the point in life I'm at right now, I'm actually more inclined to would be comfortable marrying someone who I have my life and they have theirs and we have our small life together, kind of, which is what is sort of what he was presenting. Like, or that, you know, you go do your own things and your own hobbies and your own interest on your own time, and then together we'll have this family. That's sort of what it seemed like he was presenting. And I actually would probably be okay with that now. But I can identify with her in this idea of like, I'm not asking you to quit your job to come gallivant around Italy with me. I'm asking you to, yes, you've had a long, stressful day, but then after that we can still have a relationship together when we're at home together. And it felt like she was saying, we're like, you're just tired all the time because of this. And also, in 4 weeks, with only a short amount of time that they're home together with the child there, it's not like she's going to be able to, you know, take care of Luca so that he can get some rest. Like, that's not the relationship they're going to have at the moment.
I think even at the bachelorette and bachelor parties separately, where she's talking to her friends and she's like, I'm used to doing all this stuff and I want someone to do it with. And then you have Jordan and the bachelor party being like, I'm just excited to be married in a house and have a routine. And it was like, see, that's the problem. You two have totally different versions of what your life and lifestyle wants to be. And that's not even a who's at fault thing. You guys just want two very different things. And I don't think you have realized that. I think you both think that the other person is going to come over to your side of how life should be. And that's not the case. So I think that's the main thing here. And I think they both came into this a little naive. And I think, you know, I was putting most of the blame on Jordan last episode, where he was so standoffish and he was so adamant about, well, this is how it is. We might be just staring at each other for a while. You're going to have to get used to it, which is like, that's not great. And then here where she's just like, you know, she talks about like, you are a picky eater and I'm an adventurous eater. Now, as a man that is a very picky eater
I'm
a chicken tender man and has a wife who is not a picky eater, we make it work. We've been married for over 10 years. That's not an excuse. Okay. And so she's using all these things, and she talks about the fact that, you know, it feels like she just fell in love with the, you know, opposites attract theory. And it's like, but that's not, like, as I've been saying the whole season, it feels like the reality after the credits roll on a Lifetime movie or a Hallmark movie, whatever you want to say. And this is the stark reality of those characters after the credits roll. Like, oh, wait,
you fell for the small town guy at his carpenter store, and you're on Christmas vacation,
and now you have to live in the small town with the small town folk, and you don't love it. You're like, oh, this is what this was gonna be. I'm out, and it feels abrupt. To Jordan, it really felt like, I mean, it also kind of felt like this was a recreation, because it felt like he walked in and knew what the conversation was going to be. He was like, hey, how are you? How's your day?
I don't know if maybe the timing of the bachelorette parties was off, and maybe the bachelorette parties happened before their closet conversation. Because if that was the case, this could have been on the heels of that closet conversation. Like, hey, things are still tense. We need to talk this out.
Right.
The only thing that made me feel it was genuine was his tears, and then his confessional afterwards saying, like, I regret introducing her to Luca.
Yeah.
And which was like, ooh.
Yeah, but she also, in the same conversation, she's like, yeah, you do the same stuff every day. You're simple. I was like, oh, you could have phrased it a lot better than you're simple. I was like, oh, that it was those kind of the things she was saying where I was like, oh, this is not a good look for Sparkle Meg here. I think she could have broken it to him a little easier than this. I don't know. It was rough. It was a rough moment for her, for sure.
I think this is a couple that I'm just like, I wonder, in an alternative universe where they came into this willing to meet in the middle, both of them willing to meet in the middle, could it have worked? Right? Like, it seemed like they had a fun dynamic. It seemed like there was chemistry there. There was some type of connection. But it's like, once you get into like the lifestyle differences, it's like, okay, if there was some give and take on both ends, would there have been a situation where it could have worked? And it feels like that's the case, because I don't know. For one, I feel like they didn't have enough time to start to get there. But I don't feel like it was like two ships in the night. Like,
no, I think she misused that phrase there.
Go ahead.
I guess I would say, like, if this was a show where they were on like The Bachelor, or more likely like one of those reality shows where they're like dating on an island, and they were just basically in the like honeymoon phase, the dating phase for a while, I do think they would choose each other. I think the fact of the matter is, it's the when you return home to your real lives that's where it broke down, which is what I appreciate about this show, because I've always felt like the reason you have things like The Bachelor, where most of the couples don't stay together, is the second they re-enter their real lives, they're like, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah. I think to boil it, I think Sparkle Meg fell in love with the story and then did not like the reality that she found of that life, and made this decision. And my heart broke for her, because she was like, I don't know if I'm cut out to be a stepmom, or
or a mom, or even a mom.
Yeah, so I was like, oh wow, like she's really, it felt like an existential crisis for her in the moment of like,
this really kind of like turned her view on herself upside down, because she's like, maybe I am caught up into my own life. Oh my gosh. Like, she's literally having this moment of self-reflection because this situation didn't work out. I think it'll be very interesting to see the reunion, because that's literally the only preview we got was some announcement from her. And so
can we talk about
no. If you no.
All right.
We'll talk about it next time.
Streets is talking.
I know.
And we'll talk about it next
people
time.
that don't see the streets. Okay.
Like this girl. I don't see the streets.
Be quiet, streets.
Don't spoil
Streets, be quiet. Stop talking.
And one other thing she did say was like, he's easy to love. Mm-hmm. And so I think she's also blaming herself in this. Like, obviously we're seeing in this when she's like reflecting, but it's like she's trying to figure out why she has all of these reservations, when it's like Jordan seems like like a guy that she should just be all in on, and he has the stability she's looking for. Like, why can't she get there, type of thing. And I think it's just a matter of what I was saying at the beginning. Like, Jordan, in his situation right now, he is most comfortable with someone who is able to fit into that, rather than trying to merge their lives.
Well, I think Jordan thinks he has the ultimate trump card in, this is a child, another living being. I have to think about him first. So I have no flexibility because this is a child. When he might have more than he thinks he has if he tried, I think is what Mary's point was.
And like, also, I don't have a child. And so if I did, and if anyone in the comments is like, no, you have no clue, that's your whole life, that's fine. Maybe you shouldn't be on a dating show then, and even trying
to are right here. So,
but like, if you're coming on a dating show where you are presenting,
why did
Jason's
he leave?
Gone. I don't know. Okay, he's back.
I added him back. Why'd you leave?
He's leaving because of your joke about your children, I'm pretty sure.
We literally talk about this all the time. Why are you so upset?
Nothing. As someone that has a human child, a real live human child. Yeah. It's
a joke, you guys. I don't think that my 4 pet animals are like human children.
Yes, she does. If you listen to our podcast regularly, you know she does. But yeah, like, listen, there's no getting around things that have to deal with children and schedules and school and activities and all this stuff. But there are, I think he was too steadfast on like, no, this is the schedule, this is the routine, nothing can change it. There are things he can do to move stuff around, but I understand he has a very demanding job.
Supposedly, we have no idea.
We don't know. How has that not come out yet? By the way, how is this like the best kept secret that
maybe it's on the streets, and we're just not on those streets, Jason.
Maybe it's just one street over, because I'm on one of the streets, but I mean it's just the other street that I'm not on.
Let me see, Jordan. Like, let's see what he says on LinkedIn. Is that a thing?
Because I think his thing was what, branch manager or something like that. Was his little Chiron, like, branch manager for what, bro? But yes, this was heart crushing. This was heartbreaking for him to be like, oh, I wish I had introduced her to my kid. It's like, well, that's what you get when you when you introduce your son to a reality show relationship.
Yeah.
It was like, well,
that's the risk you take.
I think it was one of those things where he didn't like. If that was on the line, like if y'all didn't get together, that you were going to be regretting introducing her to Luca, then she should have met. Luca should have met Sparkle Megan after the ceremony.
And it's about like, how did you introduce Sparkle Megan to Luca? Was this like, this is going to be your new stepmommy? If that's the case, then that was not great. Or is it to be like to slowly introduce? Friend. Yeah, this is my friend. But it seemed like they were like having slumber parties at Jordan's place. Like that to me is just like, that was a lot.
This is Mrs. Sparkle.
Just call her Sparkles.
Yeah. All right. And then can we please talk about what that was at the end? They had this guy talking. Love isn't happily ever, and it wasn't Nick Lachey's voice.
I think that was one of the officiants.
I think it was one of the officiants.
Yeah, it feels like the officiant for Anton and Allie. They cut out some of the stuff he said and put it in here. When he was like,
they were trying to claim that love was just the small moments, and sometimes love doesn't end in happily ever after, and all of this. And I was just like, this is some rewriting of the whole prompt of this show.
It was like the montage of all the moments. It felt like Netflix like pointing at us at itself, and like, wasn't this some bullshit? Like we went through all this, and nobody ended up together. We just as mad as y'all are. Like look at this nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know. I
just felt like they didn't know how to end it. They're just like,
this is why I stand by the argument I argue at the beginning of every season is I am convinced that in most seasons, the couples who like we find out get together, but that didn't get any screen time or get written off the show or whatever. I don't know about this season. Maybe truthfully, nobody else paired up, but I think you have to have a boring couple if you want success. You have to have a couple who is just, we're not going to be good TV. We're not going to be drama. We're in love. We found each other, the end. And you give them 5 minutes an episode and then they get married at the altar so you can at least call your show a success. I think you need that.
Listen, I've been invoking their name all season, and some of the comments.
I still have no clue who Johnny and Amy are. You keep mentioning them, and I'm like, I don't know. What season was this?
Someone in the comments last time was like, the only reason I even remember who Johnny and Amy were is because Jace keeps saying Johnny and Amy.
I'm looking up a picture because I like have. Oh,
well, who was it? Who was it last season?
Oh, you guys remember last season?
I know the couple that got married they got married last season. Daniel and Taylor.
Yeah.
So somebody had like posted something on Twitter or Instagram or something. It was like, oh, like I love Lauren and Cameron, but I also let's not forget about what's their name? The other couple.
Daniel and Taylor. This is the couple who like where he totally stalked her first.
Yeah. So they were like, okay, I love Lauren and Cameron, but let's not forget about what was the other black couple that stayed together. Had a bunch of shoes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the guy with the shoes.
Tiffany and Brett.
They were like Tiffany and Brett. How'd you forget?
I just couldn't think of the name right now.
Well, Jason, but to my point, Tiffany and Brett were the boring couple that season.
Right, exactly.
So let me get through the post. So the post said, like, I love Lauren and Cameron, but let's not forget about Brett and Tiffany. And then Daniel commented, he's like, oh my gosh, love them, but also love Daniel and Taylor, right? But it was Daniel who posted it. I was like, not him being funny.
But yeah, Mary's right.
Have they done their Christmas card? I really should look this up.
Probably have.
But
I can't say that I follow them on Instagram.
You need that cornerstone couple to say to the proof of concept that this works. This is a thing that works. It may not be as entertaining as the shipwreck couples, but it's a concept that works, which is still like why this keeps getting produced every season, because we have proven we can make great couples. And this was the first season where it's like, ooh, none of it worked.
Yeah. There is an article that it says like I can't read through it fast enough, but with Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan said Love is Blind star Jordan breaks down emotional finale and shares the secret pact he made with Megan ahead of the wedding day.
Listen,
and I'm sure it's if you're gonna say no, let's not go.
I'm gonna need these NDAs to get tighter, because I do not like the cast all spilling all the secrets before the reunion. It really makes some things feel not as genuine because they come out and they say, "Oh, I was actually kind of acting in this moment." I was like, "Okay, we don't need any of that. Stop breaking the fourth wall. Let me be disillusioned, please. let me be ignorant to some of the behind the scenes stuff."
Well, to answer your question, he did introduce Megan as, "Hi, this is Megan. She is going to be your stepmom. We're getting married."
Oh, bro.
So
that's not a good idea.
He said it wasn't about Megan.
That way.
He said it wasn't about Megan. It was more about introducing anybody and saying we're going to get married, and then 2 weeks later, it's not happening. So.
Yeah, that's shitty. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. So we have the reunion ahead of us that will be airing at 8 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday. I hope it's good because after that wedding episode, we need something. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I always hope they're good.
Do you? No, I can't ask this because the streets are going to get involved. Oh, wait.
Oh, ask it. Ask it.
I was going to say, okay, let me ask it this way. If you didn't have any knowledge of anything outside of what we've seen on this episode, would you think that any of the couples would have gotten back together by the reunion?
No.
Well, I think I already said about KB and Edmund.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Anton and Allie trying to date.
Really?
No, I don't see that. I feel like Allie kind of put the stamp on it to be like, no, we're done.
I definitely could believe though that Allie would be like, but there was this other guy from the Pod Squad we never saw, and I actually met up with him or whatever.
Yeah, we find out that there was like actually someone other than Anton she was heavily dating, and because remember, Allie and Anton, they got engaged on the first episode. From what we saw nothing of their pod experience, so that wouldn't be surprising. Like, actually, I was dating someone as heavily as I was dating Anton, and they just never showed it, and now I'm with that person. But yeah, I don't know. I feel different about Allie after this episode, so I don't know if I want to see that.
Well, that was very clear this episode. All right. Thank you all so much for sticking with us as we navigated these I don'ts. We will be back next week to talk about the reunion. Jason, where can people keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, listen. Mary, can you hear me? Okay, you got your
Jason. You can't make a reference to something we talked about off camera.
For those that are still not aware, even though we keep saying on each podcast, Married at First Sight is back. It premiered October 23rd. It probably a day or so before you watch this, it premiered on Peacock. It's back. Me and Asia cover it over on the podcast, The Perfect Match. Come over. We're going to be doing recaps on it. We're going to be having bonus content from Married at First Sight over on our Patreon at A Perfect Match Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Perfect Match Podcast. You'll find it there. We're having all kind of special guests from past Married at First Sight seasons on that Patreon. So come on over. It's a lot of fun. You can also catch me on The Good Pod, where me and my friend Marissa Garza rewatch the show Good Wife because it's just something we decided to do. And we're also chatting about the current season of Elsbeth, which is a Good Wife spinoff. That's it for me. Mary, what do you have? I'll listen to what you say here. Like, okay.
Well, this is pretty much it podcast-wise. If for some reason you're really interested, follow my YouTube channel, Trail Mary, and this weekend, after this episode is released, you can watch the live stream of the race that I'm putting on this weekend. So it'll be pretty boring if you're not interested in running, but otherwise, that's what I'm doing. There's no shows to my knowledge that premiered on October 23rd, except for the show Nobody Wants This, so I'll just be watching that. I'm not podcasting about it, but that's what I'm up to.
Okay, nice. Love that. Love that for you.
Aysha, what are you up to?
Yeah, y'all can follow me at Aysha like Aysha. That's AYSHA like ASIA. Yeah, I might be talking about maths here and there. Maths, Married at First Sight is the reason that I have podcasted every day this week. Tuesday through Saturday, I have podcasted every single night. And so come join us. If you love Love is Blind, you'll love Married at First Sight over on Peacock. And they'll be airing, they'll be showing the episodes on Bravo as well. So check that out if you don't have Peacock. And I also appeared on the Diary Room pod with Matt Lagori and Aman Adwin. So definitely check that out, where we're trying to find the best Big Brother player. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So thank y'all so much for sticking with us, and we will see y'all next week. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.